The new fantasy thriller, A Lair's Twisted Tongue, has captured readers' attention with its gripping tale of lies, deception, and dark secrets. This psychological thriller dives deep into the complexities of human behavior and the lengths people will go to protect their secrets. As the story unfolds, readers are taken on a roller coaster of twists and turns that challenge their perception of truth. Today, we're joined by the author, Caroline Cusanelli, to discuss the inspiration behind the novel and what readers can expect. Hi, Caroline. Thanks so much for joining today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, first, what inspired you to write Alaire's Twisted Tongue?
I was actually watching The Wolf of Wall Street one night, and I just kept thinking that the characters felt so real. That if I wrote a book, I wanted my characters to feel like fully fleshed people. And then I ended up plotting the book that night.
Wow, is that your first attempt at writing a novel?
I've been writing on and off my whole life, but it was like the first time that I knew I was going to finish a book.
Can you give us just a brief overview of the plot and main characters in your book?
Yeah, of course. So Desdemona and Lucian are the main characters. Desdemona is a girl who was raised in a very poor background, and Lucian is a prince, and he has basically been controlled his entire life by his parents and is a victim of abuse. And when Desdemona gets sent to the most prestigious magical academy in the universe, which happens to be where Lucian attends, he notices a power in her that can potentially free him from his parents, from the abuse, and he begins to manipulate her essentially to try to steal that magic.
So, you talked about getting inspiration from other works and also that you have been writing on and off. How did you develop the complex themes of deception and trust that run throughout the book?
I was actually in the world and learning about the history. I realized that the deception just ran through every little thing, all of the politics, all of just the decisions that have been made throughout all of these worlds, and how it affected all of the individual people's lives to a point where everyone kind of became a little deceptive because that is just what they were taught and what they learned. And then, of course, with Desdemona and Lucian, the two main characters, their entire relationship is formed on manipulation from both ends. Desdemona is hiding where she was born, where she came from, and Lucian is hiding his true intentions with why he's training her. So the deception is just so deeply ingrained to the plot and the characters.
Now, what challenges did you face in creating the twists and turns that keep readers on edge?
Keeping all of the characters on a grayscale. No character is truly good and no character is truly evil, and I wanted to keep the characters nuanced and the readers sympathetic, and that was a difficult thing to kind of balance and manage.
How do you balance suspense with character development in a psychological fantasy thriller like this?
The character development is directly aligned with the suspense, so every moment of peril is directly tied to the characters and their evolution. And so is the magic system. So the suspenseful scenes, all the tension throughout the book is just their inner turmoil exaggerated and affecting their outer world.
What message or takeaway do you hope readers gain from the story?
At the core, the story is about vulnerability. So I hope that readers can walk away feeling like inspired to share something about themselves that they normally wouldn't.
Are there any real life events or experiences that influenced the writing of this book?
Oh, definitely. Right when I started writing the book, I had just moved to Spain. So with Desdemona, I was kind of discovering a new world far from home. And I really channeled that, like the confusion and just the learning curve of being in a new place.
Now, you were born in New Jersey, and as you just mentioned, you're living abroad in Spain. How does that factor into getting some inspiration for writing?
The entire world, to me, it looks like Spain. Like a lot of the physical descriptions of what the school looks like, what the kingdoms look like, have just come from places I've seen. I've been in castles and really grand cathedrals, so all of those things play a big role.
Now, how differ from other thrillers, fantasy thrillers currently on the market?
Two things come to mind. The first is that the magic harms as much as it helps, and it's directly tied to the characters and who they are, what they want, what they need. And then the main thing, in my opinion, is that A Liar's Twisted Tongue doesn't follow the hero's journey like a lot of fantasy books do. Every character is very morally gray. Every character is trying to survive. Their decisions are being made from places of, survival and personal vendettas. So they could do like a truly villainous thing in one scene and a few chapters later save the world because it's just what they needed to do to survive themselves. So you are really working with a lot of moral ambiguity in A Liar's Twisted Tongue that I don't think you see a lot on the market.
What has been the reader response so far, and has it met your expectations?
Honestly, I get DMs and emails and comments every day of people telling me how much they love the book or that it changed their life in some way. So it's beyond what I expected and it means the world.
Now, this was your debut novel. Can you share any insights into what you're working on next and if it will be similar in tone or style to this novel?
I'm working on the second book in the trilogy. It's called the Fated Blood Trilogy. And the style differs in the way that the story is unfolding because you have a past narrative unfolding with the present narrative that is directly reflecting upon what the characters are going through now. And the tone is a bit different because everything's ramping up. The suspense is getting more suspenseful, there's more tension. We're ramping up to a grand finale. So I think will keep readers a little bit more on the edge of their seats.
What message do you have for other up and coming young novelists?
Believe in yourself enough for the world because through most of the beginning of the journey, you are the one person that you have on your side. You kind of have to prove yourself before people will stand by you and stand with you. So it's really, really, really important and cliche to believe in yourself.
So, where can people get a copy of your book?
It's available on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, and Walmart, and a lot of other online book retailers.
Caroline, thank you so much for your time and sharing your journey.